Claude Lévi-Strauss, Woolwright, and the American Western. So Claude Lévi-Strauss discovered the unconscious foundation of the so-called primitive societies using socio-structuralism, the langue and the parole. These two divisions of language Claude Lévi-Strauss used to determine culture of the so-called primitive societies. Before he discovered the culture of the so-called primitive societies, he first studied and analyzed the cooking, manners, mode of dress, aesthetic activity, and other form of cultural and social practices as analogous to system of language. As he analyzed, he determined that each of it is a medium of communication and a form of expression in its own unique way. So before we go further to our discussion, the meaning of the two divisions of language is what Claude Lévi-Strauss used. Langue refers to the rules behind the way the language is arranged and used, while parole refers to the actual utterance of language, both written and spoken. And so, Lévi-Strauss investigated a number of systems. However, his analysis of meat is the central interest to the students of popular culture. He claims that beneath the vast heterogeneity of meats, there can be discovered a homogeneous structure. In short, he argued that individual meats are example of parole, articulation of an underlying structure or langue. By understanding this structure, we should be able to truly understand the meaning of particular meats. Lévi-Strauss argued that meat work like language. They comprise individual analogies to individual units of language, the morphemes and phonemes.
According to Lévi-Strauss, all meats are structured in the same way. He also asserted that despite the fact that this isn't his main interest, but meats serve the same as socio-cultural function in society. To put it another way, meat's aim is to make the world a better place. To explainable, to magically resolve its issue and inconsistencies, according to him. And so, the objective of meat is to give a rational model that can resolve a conflict. Myths are stories that will tell us as a civilization in order to eliminate paradox and make the world understandable and thus habitable. They strive to reconcile us with ourselves and our existence.
Woolwright and the American Western. Woolwright's 1975 examined the Hollywood Western with Lévi-Strauss' structuralist methods in sex, guns, and society. He claims that the Western narrative force comes from its structure of binary opposition. However, Wright varies from Lévi-Strauss that his goal is to demonstrate how the myths of a culture through their structure communicate a conceptual order to the people of that society, and not to reveal a mental structure. In short, whereas Lévi-Strauss is concerned with the structure of the human mind, Wright is concerned with the way the Western present a symbolically basic but impressively rich conceptualization of American social life.